So when you talk about negotiation versus litigation, it's important to remember that there's two different types of ways a case can be handled. So if you've been involved in an accident, a lot of law firms will sign up their client and then gather up stuff and then just talk to the insurance company through what's called pre-suit negotiations. At Sutliff and Stout, we generally don't do that. We generally will file a lawsuit and we will engage in the litigation process. And the reason is because it sends the message to the insurance company, who's typically paying, that you mean business about the case and that you believe in your case. We're going to work up our cases as though we're going to trial. But the reality is not every case goes to trial. Depending on what the other side does is how we then make the decision. Do we go to trial or do we settle the case? Because our goal at the end of the day is to maximize the value of the case. And if we can maximize the value of the case through settlement, then that's what we'll do. If we need to go to trial in order to maximize the value of the case, then that's what we'll do. Another risk is time, right? I mean, just because you try a case tomorrow, that doesn't mean you get paid tomorrow, because the legal process allows the defendant the right to appeal, and that process can take 3 or 4 years. And so we'll talk to our clients about all the pros and cons of going to trial. And so it's really a collaborative decision on the part of us and the client as to whether or not they should settle. And it just depends on whether or not the at-fault party is being fair. If they're offering a fair number, and if they're offering a reasonable number based on the injuries and the damages, then we'll talk to our client about what we think is fair and reasonable, because every case has a range. And then we'll talk to them about the risk of going to trial and the pros and cons about going to trial. And then the clients get to make a decision. We try a lot of cases. If our clients want us to try the case, we're happy to do that. It doesn't mean that trial is necessarily the best decision. And we try to give our clients a realistic assessment of what we think is the best decision for them. But at the end of the day, it's their decision. It's their case. They are the ones that have to accept the consequences of the decision. And so our job is not necessarily to tell them what decision to make. It's to educate them about the process so that they can make a good decision for themselves.